Hey everyone, this is Christy, SaltyStitcherDesigns. This is Floss Tube number 61, and it is March 2nd. This is a channel about cross stitch, and I am so excited to be here today to share with you some fully finished objects, some works in progress, catch you up on my WIPGO and show you, I think, a new start that I will be embarking on this month. So this is my February recap, and yeah, we'll just get right into it. Okay, so we're going to get right into it today. The first thing I wanted to show you today was a couple cross-stitch projects I came across from um, my mom's closet. So I think every few floss tubes, I do what I found in mom's closet. I showed you a few last week. I don't know if I showed you a couple that I pulled out of a box here. I think it could be my first cross stitch project ever and my first needlepoint project. Um, so I wanted to start there. And let's see. So this first one is from 1987, and probably seen this pattern before, but again, what I found in mom's closet. This is my first cross stitch, I think, from 1987. Let's see. So I'm going to date myself here. So I was about 11 years old when I cross stitched this one. So I think I'll create a little scrapbook or figure out how to save these two. Maybe put it in a hoop and save it. I don't know. It's cute. It's cute. And I think this is my first needlework project, this big shell kit. And it all looks like satin stitch with a really thick yarn. But as you can see, I've been in love with the ocean for a long time, and I think this may have been my first needlework project. I don't have a date on this one other than it was a Horizons Designs kit, and the fabric, which looks like maybe 10 count, probably right around 10 count, and it's stamped 1981. So I don't know how long this kit has been around, but stamped 1981. I probably did not stitch this in 1981. But this is a pretty neat pattern. So I think I'll keep those two just for fun. Um, yeah. So what I found in mom's closet, a really quick segment of two cross stitches. Okay, we're gonna go right into some fully finished stitches that I got back from the framers. And we're going to start off. I have a stack over here that I'm going to bring over. These are also, I'm also going to show you maybe two series that I have going. Okay, so the first one, so it doesn't go. The first one, so this is the first Maya Angelou pattern. I think a lot of you who have watched my channel know about this pattern. Oh, there. Yes, that's better. So this is the first Maya Angelou pattern, which was released a couple years ago. And my mom stitched this one recently. And I believe I showed it a couple floss tubes ago. She stitched it on, it looks like 16 count or 18 count Ada. It is over dyed Ada, and it is with DMC. I'll have to check what threads they are. They're either DMC or Classic Color Works. So that's the first Maya Angelou. And then this is my new release, and it's also, I just got it back from the framers. This is Maya's Butterfly. This is second in the series. Oh, there's a little bit of a glare. I apologize for that. Let's go right there. And it is stitched on a 28 count frosted lilac. And this is, I believe, Forbidden Fiber Co. And I have a sulky thread pack that goes with it. And this is Maya's Butterfly, brand new release. It's in my Etsy shop. It is also with Hoffman and Yarn Tree. And you can also get it from Garon Stitchery. They have a few copies. They're the first shop to have this pattern in stock. So this comes with uh, a thread pack. It also comes with three different color schemes to stitch. So you can stitch it in DMC. You can stitch it with one version of sulky thread, and then, or you can purchase the sulky thread pack. And this is one of the thread conversions as well. So I'm really excited about Maya's Butterfly. Again, all of these are fully licensed through Maya Angelou's lawyers and her estate. So fully licensed, feel free to stitch at will. Okay, so that's the Maya Angelou series. I am working on a few new designs for that as well that will come out maybe later in the year, a few smalls. Okay, another FFO. So I think you've all seen this one, Home is Where the Navy Sends You. I finished this model a number of years back. This is on a 32 count linen stitched with DMC threads. So I think you've seen this one. But while this was designed right around the same time, my mom was helpful in stitching the model for me. So this is Home is Where the Coast Guard Sends You. So I've been in the Coast Guard for, well, including the academy, roughly 31 years. This year will be 27 years towards retirement. And so this is really apropos for me. I go where the Coast Guard sends me. So this now hangs along with Home is Where the Navy Sends You by my front door. I am living on a Navy base as well. So these are my two. So that is Navy home and Coast Guard home. Put that up there. Okay. So this is another FFO. I think I showed you the finish, another one of my designs on the reef. I just got this back from the framers. This is on an under the sea fabric. It is, looks like it's 40 count. This is all DMC thread. Absolutely beautiful colors. And yeah, this is fully finished. I'm really excited to finally finish this particular project. Okay. And then if that is on the reef, this is Pelican Beach. This is one of my new releases. I really like this pattern. It just goes from, deep sea all the way to the sand. If you want to stitch it exactly how it's shown here, there are three different stitches to learn. There's your half cross, which is the ocean. The background is all kind of half cross. It is done in a basket weave method. So essentially when you turn it around and you look on the back, it almost looks like a basket weave type pattern. The sand down at the bottom, they're all little Igerian islets, which were fun to stitch. And then in the center, the dock has its own, it's kind of like a Scotch stitch. I think it's a Hungarian Scotch stitch, but it's modified. It's in two different sizes here, but very easy to replicate. So this was a lot of fun. You could also do this in full crosses, and I'm sure it'll look beautiful using all of the variegated threads. So I stitched this just on a 18 count Ada because it's full coverage. Um, and I love it. I love the two big pelicans and kind of a deserted pelican beach here. So this is also in my Etsy shop. It is also with the distributors. Okay, I think that's it for my FFOs and ultimately my shop updates. So we'll move on to what I was stitching on this month. Okay, so before I move on, I want to show you one more FFO. And I showed this in one of my previous floss tubes. This is Davy Jones' locker, but I did get her back from the framer. And this was a finish in 2024. It is on Forbidden Fiber Toasted Coconut, 36 count, and it is stitched with all Forbidden Fiber threads. And the reason I wanted to bring this back out just for this video is to let you know what my plans are for next weekend at market. Um, so originally I wasn't going to go to market at all because of work conflicts, but that has since changed just a bit. And I talked to Leanne at Forbidden Fiber Co. and asked if I could help her in her shop. And she was gracious enough to say yes, and then also gracious enough to allow me to bring Davy Jones' locker with me, just to highlight her fabric and her thread. So wanted to bring this one out just to show you. So if you are going to market um, and you are going to visit Leanne at Forbidden Fiber Co., I will be there, and Davy Jones Locker will be there as well. So I hope you get to see this one in person. And if you are there, say hi. I'd love to meet you and say hello. Okay, let's put this one away, and we'll move right into whips. Okay, so on to whips. So I've been participating in WIPGO, and February WIPGO numbers were 7 and 8. So we're going to start with those whips. The first one that I worked on, the nice big stack right here. So sorry, I'm looking down. There we go. Start with my full coverage piece. The first one is the lanterns. This is, I took this picture. A lot of you know the story behind this one, but I took this picture looking down an alley in Vietnam. And this is only one part of the picture, but it's a pretty sizable chart with 599 by 570 stitches, 129 DMC colors. I'm stitching it on a 25 count easy grid fabric. And this is how far I've got. I put about 2,000 stitches in this month, really filled in here, filled in across. I think I made it to the first lantern. So this is the outline for the first lantern. So it's going to be right about here, the blue and the red. Yeah, the blue, I think it's the outline of that blue lantern and that red. So I'm going to start getting into some beautiful reds and oranges. I'm really excited about that. So this is the top left corner of the lantern. So plugging away another 2,000 stitches done there. It is not, it is not a WIPGO pull for March. So the lanterns will be rusting just a bit for the month of March. So let's go with the Red Lady Pirate. So Mirabilia's Red Lady Pirate. I'll get her close. She's a pretty cool lady. pretty neat lady. I put about 1,000 stitches into her as well. I mostly worked over here on the water. So previously I finished her face. Um, and now I'm working on the water, and all of these empty spots kind of in her hair are beads. So I worked on the water. I also have been working on, what is that? Ah, I've been working on the frame as well as I go around. I was trying to remember what I was stitching this on. I'll have to look it up and put it in the notes. But it's a beautiful fabric. So the model has her on a blue fabric. I think I chose this. It's mostly full coverage for her. So I chose this so it would look like she had the sunset behind her. This is probably an under the sea fabric, but I will double check for you. Okay, so that's Red Lady Pirate. Okay, my next WIPGO one was Ink Circles, Big Red Ship. I think you've seen her before, and I think I've said multiple times that I plan to stitch the entire fleet. And I put about probably roughly 2,000 stitches in this one as well. So I am almost to the top of the border. So the border goes probably right out to here, give or take. And I'm almost finished with that top border. So I worked on that a lot yesterday, put about 1,000 stitches in on the top border and the waves going across. So I'm just working my way across the top. I love how this is coming out. It's on a 40 count. I forget the color. I bought a yard of it a long time ago. And I'm using Silks for You threads, 3 colors of Silks for You. So the red, the gold, and the blue. Okay. So that is Big Red Ship. My next full coverage is the Trumans. And these are my husband's kitties, Harry and Bessie. And he wanted me to stitch this for them. So I started this about a year ago. And it was on a 32 count easy grid, and I was stitching 1/1. And I didn't like the way it was turning out. I, I didn't like, I wasn't, the stitching of it didn't bring me joy on the 32 count. So I've shifted to a 20 count easy grid fabric, stitching 1/1 on it. And so this essentially is a restart of Harry and Bessie. And I like the way it's coming out. It's easier to stitch. And the way I stitch full coverages is I take one color, I pull a strand of it, and then I stitch across or down until I run out of that color. And then go back to the top, find the next color and stitch across. So I don't park my threads a lot. I don't like having the threads hanging down. I like kind of a clean space, take one thread and use it until I finish. It does call it, I do end up kind of um, jumping across the fabric just a little bit, but typically if I have to jump more than 20 stitches, then I'm going to, I say that sometimes because I can carry a lot, but 20 or 30, if I have to jump 20 or 30 threads, I'll probably finish it off and then start it again. Um, but it's full coverage. I don't really care what the back looks like, so I'm using DMC. I'm not too worried about carrying my threads a little bit. Okay. So I believe, yeah, Harry and Bessie will be back for March, as well as the Red Lady Pirate will be back for March's new WIPGO calls. Okay. And then my last, so that's all WIPGO. And then the last whip that I was working on is actually a stitch along. So this is Shelia and EJ are sponsoring the Put a Bird on It stitch along. They started back in, I think they started back last December, and the pattern, the chart is broken up into 12 equal parts. Um, I am just going across the top. I'll probably just go across the top, then come back and across. And this is what I have so far. I'm a little bit behind, so I probably have not done enough to get all the way through February, but I'll keep working on it. And we'll see December, January, February, March. I'll try and finish all the way across in March just to try and get caught up. But it's really beautiful. I love the way it's coming out. And I will put in the notes the fabric um, and the floss. It is definitely a 40 count, definitely a 40 count fabric. And I'm using just one color of, I believe it's Silks for You. And I love the way it's coming out. This is absolutely beautiful. I'll give you a bit of a close up. The colors are just amazing. Okay, so that is Modern Folk Embroideries, Put a Bird on It. And I think that brings me to the end of my whip. So March's whip go will be 9 and no, yeah, the numbers are 9 and 24. I'm going to work on some of my own designs. I have one model that I need to finish, and I have a few designs that I want to design ahead of um, Needlework Marketplace in August. I'll also be working on my Pelican, which is full coverage. I'll be working on the Trumans. I'll be working on Red Lady Pirate, and I'm adding Star of Sumatra. So let me pull Star of Sumatra out of my 3 bins. So I have in my craft room now 3 bins of whips. And the bottom one has a bunch of kits in it. So these are projects that are already kitted up. Top 2 are all of my whips. So let me pull Star of Sumatra out of there, and I will show you where I'm at on that particular one. Be right back. Okay, so for WIPGO, two of my projects. The first one is Ink Circles, Star of Sumatra, and I'm stitching this on Under the Sea fabric, tiramisu. I'm stitching it on 40 counts, and I'm using the called for Gloriana Silks Royal Plum Light, and I am just having a ball. That's right side up. I'm just having a ball with this one. So this is where I'm at. Now I hope to get maybe a couple thousand stitches in this one. I'm really enjoying this stitch. But you guys know, I love ink circles. So give me an ink circles pattern and I will stitch it. Okay. The full coverage that is coming back for the month of March is my great white African pelican. He is so amazingly beautiful. I took this picture. I kind of enhanced it a bit so the colors would pop out of his beak. Took this picture off the coast of Namibia. We were on a tour, and just all of these pelicans just came right up to the boat, and they were feeding them, of course, so they knew as soon as this boat got underway, the pelicans would follow it out. And these were just really large pelicans. They stood. I may be able to pop in a picture that I took, but they stood about 3 feet tall and just amazingly beautiful creatures. I'm stitching this on a 28 count easy grid, 1/1. So I'm working my way through the water, and this is the beginning of the pelican's head. So this curve. So I'm really trying to fill all of this background in. to get to the actual pelican. So if you want to stitch this, the borders are very easy to see. So if you wanted just to stitch the pelican, you probably could on a blue fabric, light blue fabric, and that would work out as well. And that would just save you all of the full coverage ocean part if you just wanted to stitch the pelican. You could probably do that. It's easy enough to pick out. When I get a chance to breathe, I'll actually maybe put another pattern together that just has the pelican instead of the full coverage background. But all right. So I think that is it for WIPGO. You saw the Trumans, you saw the Red Lady Pirate, you saw the Pelican and Star of Sumatra. So continuing with some plans. So I'm going to continue to work on put a bird on it. And my new start for March, I'm going to do a new start in March. I'm going to start Jean Farish's The Egret and the Dolphin. I absolutely love this pattern. It has one of my favorite Jimmy Buffett quotes on it from A Salty Piece of Land. And if you know, you know, I'm just a huge Jimmy Buffett fan. So I'm going to stitch using DMC thread, and I have this piece of fabric. I think this is it is not labeled. It must be a Fortnite Fabrics piece that I pulled out of my stash. It is on 40 count. It is 40 count, it looks like. And it is really pretty. You can, oh, there, it shows up really nicely there. So it's like a peachy color. So I have all of the threads pulled, have the pattern, have the fabric. So the egret and the dolphin will probably be a new start. And hopefully when I finish my next model, I'll be able to start this sometime in the month of March. Um, okay, I'm just looking. That's my new start. And I have a lot sitting around me here. I'm just going to go into some really cool stuff that I purchased. I usually don't do a lot of haul during my videos, but I found some really neat stuff that I think you might be interested in. I signed up to receive Roxy Floss Co. threads, so I have never stitched with them before, but I just found the Floss Tube videos and really interested in trying to stitch with these. So I received my first thread pack, and these are some absolutely gorgeous threads. So I'm really excited to play with those. I received some fabric from Atomic Ranch. This was from Needlework Marketplace, so you may have seen some of these colors, but I just got beautiful colors from Atomic Ranch Fabrics. I'm just going to try and splay them out. Yeah, so beautiful pinks, blues, greens, all fairly neutral, and all in 36 count. So this is going to go into my stash for designing. So I'll show you a few. So this one's blush. Oh, I love that. Azul, nice blue. Ocean sand. Look at this. Look at that green. Hey, Gary, look up. Look at that green. Hera. This kind of trying to look at it in the light. It's hard to tell what color it actually is. It's kind of showing up peachy in the video, but it's not. It's like it's more blue or grayish. Gray. Yeah, I don't know. It's not showing up. All right, that's probably the best look against some of my blues and grays here. And Mellow Stone, really cool. It's a little brighter on the video than it actually is in person. It's a nice neutral. And Pampas Reed, another beautiful neutral color. So I am really excited about those. Let's see. more fabric here. This was Under the Sea Fabrics, Fabric of the Month, a nice green here too. This is lichen. And Fox and Rabbit Saltbush. I bought a few patterns that I think would go really well on Fox and Rabbit Saltbush. And I'll show you those. I'll show you those here. So, when you go online and you kind of start searching around for patterns that you like, and I think I kind of went on a nautical bender, I'll call it. So, bought a few patterns here that this is barefoot needle art. Really like that one. A primitive Hare, how to be a mermaid. Twin Peak Primitive sees the day. Really cool, really cool project. So I think, oh, and with How to Be a Mermaid, I also bought the thread pack to go with it and the called for fabric. So if you can see, the fabric has the ship. It's it's a printed fabric. So it's a 30 count and it has that ship on there. So I'm pretty excited to stitch How to Be a Mermaid. That's definitely going to go on my start list. So those were a couple patterns, and then I bought a few more. Another barefoot needle art, which I was thinking maybe doing a lighter color thread on the saltbush here. This is a fun pattern. I really like that. And two Bella Filipinas, so Seasons Mermaid Mandala. That looks fun. And the Mascara Festival Queen. That looked like a lot of fun too. Yeah, there's some others here. I won't bore you with all of the purchases except for these a couple. Rosewood Manor, Turkish Delight. Finally broke down and purchased this one along with Oh Santa. Yeah, so two new editions, couple, well, 4, 5, 6 editions, 7 editions um to the collection. So pretty excited about the new fabric. There, I'm probably going to use a lot of that for my new designs coming up this year. Um, oh, before I go, wanted to mention one last thing, and let me grab those. Okay, so one last thing before I jet off. There are two Sal's stitch-alongs going on with my friends Nisi Lynn and Patty Penn. They are doing the Dr. Maya Angelou Sal, so I showed this earlier. But this is a stitch along in progress with them. So if you want to join, head over to their Floss Tube channels. They're showing their progress every week. And I'm just grateful that they have picked this pattern for their stitch along. The second stitch along that they are doing is for We the People. And this is my version. So they've been showing their versions on the Floss Tube on their Floss Tube. So again, Nisi Lynn and Patty Penn. Patty Penn's is Stitches with My Kitties. And so this is my We the People version. I did stitch the letters 1/1, but the new pattern that is out has the back stitching version. So instead of stitching 1/1 here, you can do back stitching, and that's a little bit easier for those who stitch on Ada. So if you purchased the old versions of both patterns, and you still have them in your stash and you want to stitch them, but you want the new versions, just send me a picture via email with your old pattern. Tell me you want the new one. Let me know whether you want it, uh, whether you want the pattern keeper version, and I can provide both via email. So yeah, just let me know. Um, I'm really thrilled. Thanks to everyone who to everyone participating in both of those stitch alongs. I'm really grateful that you're supporting my small business. So, okay, I think that is it for the February update and March plans. So if you're still here, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me for about an hour or so, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.